Hey, what's up? Ratweb Tech here with another video. The cheapest smartphones are not only good value nowadays, but will make you wonder why people spend so much on getting a smartphone, especially in 2021. If you are on a budget though, you realize that a $250 smartphone is capable of a good battery life, a fairly good HD camera, a generally fast performance smartphone for playing games, watching HD videos, and a big enough screen for display. These phones are not arranged in any particular order, but we have a rating out of 5, pros and cons, key features, and where possible a benchmark and photo samples. Wait a second, haven't you subscribed already? Well, if not, smash the subscribe button as a show of support and turn on the notification bell to be notified about all our future videos. And yeah, thanks for subscribing. Now, let's get rolling. At number 8, we have Poco X3 Pro with an overall rating of 4.1. This phone comes with Gorilla Glass 6 with a plastic frame, plastic back, and IP53 rating dust and splash protection. It doesn't stop there for the Poco, as it comes with a 6.6-inch IPS LCD HDR10 1080 by 2400 pixel resolution with 240Hz touch sampling rate. Pretty cool, right? Here's where things get more exciting. The X3 Pro comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 860 chipset accompanied with the Reno 640 GPU. These are all last year flagship chipsets, and adding a 256 storage plus 8 gigs of RAM makes this just a good deal to be true. Let's check on the camera for a minute. With a 24 megapixel front camera capable of up to 1080 at 30 frames per second video recording, and a rear camera of 48 megapixel wide camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, and the gimmickry 2 megapixel micro camera, 2 megapixel depth camera capable of capturing 4K at 30 frames per second videos. With a huge 560 mAh battery capable of 33 watts fast charging. That's really amazing. Well, all this for under $250? Come on, this must be a good deal, but hold on. Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro offers an AMOLED display, and that brings us to number 7. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. With an overall rating of 4.2, the Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with a Gorilla Glass 5 for both front and back, all pieced together in a plastic frame with IP53 rating and a net weight of 193 grams. That is pretty awesome, especially getting an AMOLED for less than $250. That's pretty amazing. So what else does it offer? Well, it has a 6.6-inch AMOLED HDR10, 120Hz refresh rate, 450 to 700 nits brightness, 1080 by 2400 pixel display, all in a Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G chipset accompanied by a Reno 618 GPU. Well, all that is mid-range chipset, but adding to that is a 16 megapixel front-facing camera capable of 1080 at 30 frames per second video, and a rear camera of 108 megapixel wide, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and obviously the gimmickry 5 megapixel macro camera plus a 2 megapixel depth camera, all capable of 4K at 30 frames per second video. All this doesn't sacrifice on performance, especially with a 5020 mAh huge battery accompanied with a 33 watt fast charging. There's a full review about this phone at ratwebtech.com. But before you make up your mind on these two phones so far mentioned, there are a lot of similarity, but one decision you got to have to make is to get 40% more performance on the X3 Pro or a fancy screen that is an AMOLED screen on Redmi Note 10 Pro. The downside of this phone generally is a higher chipset will be better, and low light camera quality is really mediocre. You know what other phone does give all these, both the AMOLED and 5G with a pretty decent Snapdragon 750 5G processor? Well, introducing at number 6, Samsung Galaxy F42. I know you all were waiting when do I mention a Samsung on this list. With an overall rating of 4.0, the Galaxy F42 weighs 164 grams and a plastic body. A 6.6-inch Super AMOLED at 720 by 1600 pixel resolution, all in a Qualcomm Snapdragon 755G with a Reno 619 GPU. All these under $250 is amazing, and adding to this 20 megapixel front camera capable of 1080 at 30 frames per second video, and a rear camera composed of 40 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra wide, kinda common for this price range, and obviously the two gimmickry cameras, 5 megapixel depth camera and 5 megapixel macro camera. All these accompanied by a 5000 mAh battery capable of a full day use without sacrificing performance, though has a 15 watt fast charging, kinda low for this category. But anyway, who gives you 5G at $250? I guess a fast charger will pass at this point. Though a 720 pixel resolution screen, that's kinda hard to live with, and the macro camera photos are just nothing to show for, confirming why they are gimmicky to me. In general, this is a cheap, affordable 5G smartphone if that's something for you. At number 5, you have Motorola Moto G30. This is not a direct competitor for any of the first four, but to say at 3.4 overall rating and priced at $180 for 128 gigs of storage and 4 gigs of RAM, this phone sacrifices a few things that to most might be premium. For example, the back is plastic. On the front sits a 90Hz 6.5-inch LCD display with 720 by 1600 pixel resolution. It also comes with the stock Android 11, no additional user interface, and as mentioned earlier, it comes either in 64GB or 128GB storage with either 4 gigs of RAM or 6 gigs, though with an expandable storage. All this controlled with Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 chipset. I guess that's a mid-range chip from 2019, and a Reno 610 GPU. Has a 13 megapixel front camera capable of 1080 pixel at 30 frames per second, and a rear camera composed of 64 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and 2 megapixel depth and macro cameras. As usual, these won't help with nothing. The Moto G30 comes with a beefy 5000 mAh battery capable of a 20 watts fast charging, kinda a norm at this price range. All in all, the Moto G30 is meant for someone who likes a 90Hz refresh rate and most importantly, a clean Android experience. Though, if you want 4K videos, you might want to look for other alternatives. Bringing us to number 4, and as I said earlier, this list has no particular order. Though if you want a full review of any of the phones, check ratwebtech.com. And at number 4, we have the Realme 8 Dare to Live. With an overall rating of 3.5, the Realme 8 weighs 177 grams with a glass front, plastic back and plastic frame. With a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display capable of 1000 nits brightness and 1080 by 2400 pixel resolution, all these under MediaTek Helio G95 chipset with a Mali G76 GPU. Realme 8 comes with either 64GB or 128GB storage with RAM alternatives ranging from 4 gigs of RAM to 8 gigs of RAM. The front camera is 16 megapixel capable of 1080 pixel at 30 frames per second or 120 frames per second. I guess it's the first phone so far with 120 frames per second on front camera. Hold your horses though, we have 4K at 30 frames per second on front camera in one of our phones. The rear camera has 64 megapixel main sensor plus 8 megapixel ultra wide, eventually the 2 megapixel gimmick depth and macro cameras. Realme 8 comes with a super large 5000 mAh battery capable of 30 watt fast charging. If you are a fan of my videos, you understand that I don't get well with MediaTek chipset, but for this I think at least they nailed it on performance this time, though the overprocessing of images ruins the quality. And this brings us to number 3, and if you have watched this far, then consider subscribing for more videos. Number 3 is Motorola Moto G40 Fusion. With an overall rating of 3.8, the Moto G40 Fusion weighs 225 grams, pretty bulky for any user, glass front, plastic back and plastic frame. 120Hz refresh rate LCD display with the 1080 by 2460 pixel resolution with the stock Android running Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G and Adreno 618 GPU gives it optimum performance. Adding to a 64 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel depth camera capable of 4K at 30 frames or 120 frames per second, and front camera at 16 megapixel capable of 4K at 30 frames per second. Wait, this is the first phone on this list that can do 4K on a selfie camera. Well, for the battery, this doesn't disappoint. With a beefy 6000 mAh capable of 20 watts fast charging, and I guess that's where we get some contradiction. 20 watt fast charging versus 6000 mAh. Really, Motorola? All in all, this is a phone worth considering. Getting us to the final home stretch, I don't know if even that makes sense. Anyway, at number 2 we have Samsung Galaxy A32 5G. This is not to be confused with Samsung Galaxy A32. With an overall rating of 4.0, the Galaxy A32 5G weighs 205 grams, somewhat bulky with a TFT display that is thin film transistor. The display is 720 by 1600 pixel resolution, 6.5 inches, running on MediaTek MT6853 Dimensity 725G processor with a Mali G57 MC3 GPU. Make a good combo. Though you all know I never sit well with MediaTek chipsets. generally, especially when you have to put the phone on the freezer while gaming. Was that so mean? Anyway, I still can't forget MediaTek cheating on benchmark made me stop using benchmarks for referrals to a good phone. For more on that and other stories, subscribe to ratubtech.com newsletters. Back to Galaxy A32 5G. So the main camera comes with 48 megapixel main lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and the obvious 5 megapixel depth sensor, and more or less important, the 2 megapixel macro camera capable of 4K at 30 frames per second. The front camera is 13 megapixel capable of 1080 at 30 frames per second. The battery is no surprise, a 5000 mAh with a slow charger of 15 watts. And just to be clear, these phones have been chosen using my 2021 smartphone buyer's guide. You can check that video by clicking on the right top corner of this video. Now for the final phone, this is one of the very interesting phones, though costs slightly above $300. Now for the final phone, this is one very interesting phone, though costs slightly above $300, is the Poco F3. The reason I think this phone is an exclusive deal is it comes with the last year's high-end processor but overclocked Qualcomm Snapdragon 875G and an AMOLED 6.67-inch display at 1080 by 2400 pixel resolution with a 120Hz refresh rate. Both the back and front are Gorilla Glass 5, all pieced together in a plastic frame. I think the reason this phone is special is the value you get from it. You can throw any game at this and it will handle it as flawless as clicking that subscribe button. Well, the Poco F3 is tough to match at this price point. The main downside is ultra-wide camera is mediocre for both photos and videos. Just hope to get an upgrade for that. Just to mention but a few, this phone has a stunning premium build, excellent AMOLED display, an outstanding battery life, class-leading performance chipset, added is 5G connection, good stereo speakers, and many more. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Wesley and this is Ratubtech. I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.